to let go of these kind of religious ideas that we should always be in balance. We don't have to be. All the fun is mess. It's messy. It's always things not working out the way you want them to. And we should always be happy that things never work out the way we want them to, because that's the worst destiny we could possibly have. We never know what's best because we are always driven by our programs, our needs, our kind of lower desires. And we can never see the bigger picture beyond what we're already seeing, but life does. And higher up, you do. It's your person that is, I call the hand puppet, doesn't know shit. And that's okay. But we need to embrace imbalance, not to stay there forever, but as a starting point of exploration. Whenever you encounter something you haven't figured out, instant imbalance, of course. You don't start out with mastery. That would be silly. And if that is your intention, to master something the first time, you are forced to only repeat what you already know. And this is also a disease in today's spiritual community, because we all want to look so skilled, that we're in this high consciousness and so evolved. And to achieve that, we can do two ways. We can lie and cheat and pose, or we can simply stick to what we know and impress people that way. And we block our own growth. And we do all of this because we're afraid. We still want to be confirmed that we're good enough and that we're doing it right and all of that. And it blocks us. Seeking true growth means a lot of mud bath. A lot of your face down in the mud, a lot of things not working and you not being able to figure anything out, and you lose faith in yourself and life. It's not only that, but sometimes it feels like it is, But when you turn to it, like, that's fine. It's okay. It's part of the process. When you try to wash, in the river and you're looking for gold, as I always say, it's mostly sand. You start out with a bucket of sand, and after a long time, maybe you end up with some nuggets of gold, and maybe not. But there's no way to find the gold without buckets and buckets of sand. And there's nothing wrong with it. So never think that because you experience imbalance, because you experience that the ego takes over, because it always does. Remember, the ego is the accumulation of what you have learned so far. It's all your definitions that you can say, like, oh, this is what I know. This is what I can do. So of course, whenever you are exposed to something you haven't figured out, the ego will have to take over. Because that's your safest bet when it comes to being able to maneuver in a new space. It always starts with the ego. It always starts with imbalance. It always starts with us not understanding how to make anything work. And then we grow. But we never figure it out if we are afraid of not getting it right or how it looks. So true growth, true spiritual process also means we have to be comfortable with everything that makes us uncomfortable. And we have to grow out of posing and thinking that we have to be a certain way. Being true also means accepting imbalance, accepting chaos, accepting that we feel that we're drowning or losing or whatever it is, it will pass. And I think it's important that we discipline ourselves to not be part of what is also happening in the alternative movement, which is a lot of posing. It's a lot of all of that, trying to impress each other with, how much we understand our consciousness, and it comes from fear. If you're dedicated to connecting to yourself and fully unfolding and flowering, it's about you, and you can't let power games and ego fluff get in the way. But it will always be part of it. And it's not dangerous. You're not doing anything wrong, right? So whenever you feel like your ego is taking over, never feel ashamed. Just understand that, okay, you're now using your accumulated knowledge and definitions until you'll learn. That's fine. But the moment you feel ashamed of it, the moment you feel you're doing something wrong, the ego will then also start trying to figure out a way to compensate and to hide and to make you look better. And that's unnecessary. I always say that it's not about how far we've come, that our level of honesty, like true honesty, that we fully accept our exact point of evolution, and that we can own that and we work from that point. And imbalance is where everything is still fun because you haven't established new definitions. So embrace it. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to be in control. You will figure it out. Because this posing game that we see so much, of course, like religion has so much of it. Just look at, the Catholic Church. It's just like a parade of ego. It's power. It's all it is. And in the alternative, it's basically the same thing. Just like try to disconnect yourself from all of that and recognize that it's fine. People have insecurities. The ego will take over. It's part of it, but it's not how an awakened consciousness operates. It's not what it looks like.